explain to everyone what this game is again?
Right. Yes, I can. So this is the game that we're going to play, which I'd sort of briefed James on and had set him the rules, but Ross has never seen before, so this is going to be even more fun. This is a game called 1,000-Year-Old Vampire. 1,000-Year-Old Vampire is a solo RPG where you play a vampire throughout their life, throughout years and years, and across it you will have experiences and you will have memories which you will draft down in this document that you can see on us. This is going to be our memories. This is going to be the life of our vampire here. And as they get old, they're going to forget things, and people are going to come into their lives, and they're going to influence them, and then they're going to disappear again. And it plays through a little bit like, it's a bit like a mix of, say, a choose your own adventure and maybe something like Fiasco, like a game that gives you hints, and then you use that to develop your story a bit more. So. Nice. It's going to give us little prompts, and it will say something. It might say something like kill a character and gain this skill, and then in your memories you will write down kind of the event that happened, like one sentence explaining, like Jeff fell off a train and I learned the skill of cleaning up Jeff with a mop, or something like that. Probably a bit more than that, but across that we are going to tell the story of this vampire. And this is theoretically the quick play version. I don't know exactly how quick this quick play will be, but I've got the book. It's a gorgeous PDF, by the way. Like, you should look this game up and get it just to have the book. I got it and printed it, and used up 2 full cartridges of printer ink, printing the entire book off. And now it's too big to staple, but it looked pretty.
I can see on your plethora of books in the background there, you know.
Yeah, I can just pile it up on top of her, but it's just been sitting on my desk for ages waiting to be played, and so we now get a chance to do it.
Yeah, we do.
So let's play some 1,000-Year-Old Vampire. So Ross, you're going to help me out on this.
Okay.
I hope the Dangerlings are going to help us out as well. And so basically what we're going to do is, it is a solo RPG, so it's about one character, and you can play this on your own. But we're going to play it as a group, and we're going to make group decisions as to what is going to happen to this vampire and what they're going to do. And as it goes, I'm going to hopefully fill this out, and we'll create a little story for our vampire. Really fascinating journaling version of it that you can play. Yes, Ross.
Can I just say the fact that the life before is not center is really upsetting me at the moment.
There is a reason for that.
Oh, okay. All right. I was just saying everything else was like in the middle, apart from the life before. But
do you like my beverage?
What is it?
It's
squash. Cherryade.
Wow. Yeah, it's like really cheap Cherryade. It's going to be like a little Cherryade moustache.
like those Panda Pops they used to get.
Yeah, I love it.
Nice.
I don't have any red wine in the house. So this is because life before is a memory. This is our first memory. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create our vampire, and then we're going to start sending them off on adventures. So the first thing we want to do, we put in our first memory. Memories are what define our vampire. We only have 5 memory slots. So we have 5 memories that we can have. And when we gain new memories, we have to delete old memories, which means our vampire gradually forgets their past because they've been alive for so long. So
stop you there. Matt Letty wants to know what leggings you're wearing.
Of course, Matt. My apologies. Today, it's all about the purple.
Nice.
Shimmery. My Philippe Devil Monkey shirt.
That's a thing now. Matt just tunes in just for that.
Oh yeah. I know, Matt. I know the content Matt's here for. Did we say Matt got his Kickstarter project funded? So congratulations, Matt.
Nice.
So let's start with our first memory to make our vampire. So the very first memory we start with is just a short sentence that encapsulates who our vampire is. So what are they? We're going to be starting back quite a long way away. So let's make him a medieval knight. How about that? Something like that. Or he's someone from the past. What do we reckon, Ross? Should Should we say
I
he's a
think-
knight or
Yes, I think he's the knight of. That's the the knights he's knight for.
Knight of
The knights of.
Okay, and what is our vampire's name?
Manson.
Manson.
Yeah.
Does Manson have a surname?
No, you can do the surname. I
Okay,
don't want to do it all.
Okay.
Manson von Crisps, and I am a knight.
What was it? A Knight of Mar?
Yeah, I'm Knight of Mar.
What year? What year is he?
What do you mean? Oh, what in the year?
Let's say
1292.
Or do you want to be
1292.
1290 in the year 1292. In the year 1290.
Yeah, I mean, Chris Marsh said it's probably going to be Sir Manson.
Sir Manson. Yep. Okay. Yep. Sir Manson.
Sir Manson von Crisps. Of
Game
the
of
Knights
Game
of
of
Mar.
dark personal horror, everyone. Sir Manson von Crisps, Knight of Mar. What do you mean you don't know what Mar means? Stupid thing. Right. We're going to add that to our
Add that.
Yep, there we go. That's a word now. That's going to be fun when I have to write things later on. So I am Sir Manson von Crisps, and I am a Knight of Mar in the year 1292. That's our first experience. Now we have to create. This is like a broad summary of who we were. So we were a knight in the medieval period. Now we need to create 3 mortals and add them to our sheet. So 3 characters. So these are people who are our friends. So 3 people we know. So we need to give them a name, who they are, and what they are watching. I think they should be Dangerlings. Let's have
Chris Marsh.
So Chris Marsh. Who is Chris Marsh?
He is a beetroot seller. He sells beetroot to the local towns.
I should have known you were the perfect person to play this with. Insane implement. He is a beetroot seller from.
Yeah. Yes, and
Excellent.
Matt Letty said he's deathly afraid of cabbages.
Oh yes.
Just really doesn't like cabbages.
This is good because almost all these characters will die within the first few rounds of the game. So hope you're ready. So who's going to be our next? Character?
I'd say the one and only Stu Jacksonicus.
Stu Jackson.
Stu Jackson.
Who is Stu Jackson, and who is he to us? Well, that'll come up in a minute.
He's a wafter. He wafts people for money. So, like, with fans or whatever you can get a hold of. Or a giant or a leaf, a light giant leaf.
This is tremendous. So Stu Jackson is a wafter who wafts people with vans. And one more of our Dangerlings. Who should we have? Should we have Candace?
Yeah, let's have Candace.
Who is Candace?
Candace is a wine seller.
Oh.
She sells lots and lots of wine.
Does she serve that with nerds by any chance?
Yes, she serves them with the famous. Yes, Stu Jackson, a wafter. You heard it. You're a wafter. That is your job.
So there are some episodes coming up of Tales from the 20 Sides of Stu's podcast that me and James are on, and we ended up getting so into it because we never get to play, or because I never get to play second edition. that I've now appeared on as many more episodes of Stu's podcast than I have Lockdown Legends. Like, we haven't got until we record some more. We had a great time. Okay, so Candice is a wine and nerd seller. Stu Jackson is a wafter who wafts people for money.
Yeah.
And Chris Masters is a beetroot seller from a local town who fears cabbage. Excellent. This is going well. Now we need to. These characters can and should be very important, but will not be around for long.
Yeah, they are.
Give your vampire 3 skills fitting their lot in life and 3 resources they obtained while still mortal. So it's 3 skills. Skills can be absolutely anything. So skills.
Okay, you think of one skill.
Things that we are good at as a knight of Mar.
You think of the first one.
Okay.
And then I'll do the second. Let me see if anyone else has said anything in that time.
Okay, so what our first skill? Our first skill is horse seduction, because Knights of Mar they have to woo their horses in the field in order to coax them to help. So I'm guessing one of our resources should probably be a horse, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
Resources can be anything. So resources can be anything, and it doesn't matter how great. It can be a fleet of ships, or it could be a sort of a prized knife.
Chris Marsh, come up with a horse name for the horse. I know, obviously, this is going to be delayed, but you come up with a horse. Chris Marsh can come up with a horse name.
That's quite a good one.
I think that was his answer, but yeah. Are we calling crusading?
No, for it. Do you have a skill for us, Ross?
Okay, yes. He is. He's got. He's good at throwing crisps.
A good skill to have in the year 1292.
Yeah.
Okay, he's good at throwing crisps.
Yeah,
that's good. The horse is called Old Stinky.
Old Stinky. Where did you get that? I didn't even see that. As he said it. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, Will's here. Hey, Will. Right. Okay. This is great. This is the silliest live stream we're going to have done for a while. So we're going to. Matt says. Can tell the difference between turnips and parsnips at 200 meters. Okay, that's going in.
Does that mean that he knows Chris Marsh?
There are no wrong answers.
Does he know Chris Marsh in this world? Is that?
Well, that's one of the things we're going to do.
Ah.
At 200 meters. So he's using the metric system in the 13th century. He's a forward thinker. Is old Sir Manson von Crisps. Right. Now that's so we need 2 more resources, 2 more things that our vampire has. 2 more objects, or just some things he has that they have at their disposal.
A giant pit.
Just a pit.
Yeah, filled with rusty spoons. He's been building it for as long as he's lived, which is a long time.
Excellent. Well, what we're going to do in a minute is we're going to create three new memories. We're going to type up 3 new memories. And they are all going to involve, and they're going to tie together. They combine 2 of our traits together. So it could be skills, it could be resources, or it could be characters.
Okay.
So it would be like, we're going to learn about how Chris Marsh helped us dig a pit, or something like that.
Okay, cool.
Filled with rusty spoons. What's our final?
You pick this one. or whoever pick.
Okay, so we need one more item. The horse is going to be called Ye Olde Stinky. Ye Olde Stinky. Tremendous. Ye
I
Olde
mean, I haven't actually
Stinky.
watched Sound of Fingers in a while, but yeah.
Oh, it's so frightening.
Yeah.
What's the last thing we should have? Okay, we'll come back to that. Let's create some more memories. Let's create some magical memories.
Magic.
So let's find a. Just call it memory 2 for the moment.
Just keep
right.
barraging James with messages saying Zoom.
Maybe we'll get him.
Maybe.
So I want to know. Let's bring some of these characters in. Let's get some of these. Let's get some of the Dangerlings in. Let's see how is Chris Marsh related to any of our other traits? Horse seduction, throwing crisps, telling the difference between parsnips and turnips. Horse named Ye Olde Stinky.
So how?
Massive. So we have to write a memory. So a memory would be something like. It's a memory of something like, you know, I remember. I remember riding out on the Olde Stinky with Stu Jackson, or something that ties these things together.
Okay.
Or how you came upon some of them, or how we learned.
I remember the time I learned my love for vegetables from the time I met Chris Marsh in the fields, beating away at his beats. He was furiously beating away at his beats. Yeah, and that's why he he learned the difference between parsnips and turnips from Chris Marsh, the ever fountain of knowledge when it comes to the vegetable kind.
A good memory, a very good memory, and one that I treasure forever. Let's have. So let's have another memory. Okay, I have another. Let's see. I think my audio might go funny. Right, let's get. So we've got horse seduction and Ye Olde Stinky. I mean. That's got to go together, surely.
Anthony Blythe said, "Furiously beating the root. Welcome to Chris Marsh's Beat Marsh." You know what they say about Chris Marsh?
About Chris Marsh.
They say, once you marsh, you never marsh again. So, you know, quality content.
What did they sparkle? What's sparkly, Ross?
A pearl. I mean, it's actually not sparkly at all because it's pearlescent, but
Cool. So I recall wooing Ye Olde Stinky over a barrel of Candace's fine nerd wine. His eyes sparkled like pearls. So this is our fourth one. Just putting that domain name. Amazing. This is right, and then a fourth one. So, so the things we've got left to explain are throwing crisps, a massive pit filled with rusty spoons, or another object. Let's say it doesn't have a house.
We can put a house in. Made of mud.
In mud. There we go. Right, so we haven't used Stu Jackson yet. We haven't used the house made of mud, the pit of rusty spoons, or throwing crisps. What should that mean? What should we have that's about these myths?
Well, you've got to get Stu Jackson in there about a wafter, but
I mean, Yeah.
Go on. If you've got an idea.
I mean, it's got to start with. Stu Jackson gently wafts me as.
As
I guess.
As I practice my throwing crisps, or something.
Yeah. As I.
He would regale me of times that he wafted the most famous nights of wow, whatever the hell, Ma, that's it.
There we
I
are.
couldn't
Right.
think of anything better than Stu Jackson giving
Stu Jackson
our character a waft.
me. He has served my family for years and tells me tales of all of the nights he has wafted before. I'm so sorry. Stu. Right. This is going well. So these are our three. So these are our four memories we have so far.
Yeah.
Would you like to hear the example one they give in the book of what you might what you could write instead?
Yeah, go on.
Gundar, a Viking jarl, like a father to me. Gundar takes me on my experiences. Gundar takes me on a voyage aboard his longship, Bugden. His touch calms me when we first leave the sight of land. So ours are basically the same.
Yeah, I mean, I can see both sides.
So
go on.
now we need another character. This is a very important character because this character is an immortal. This is the character that turned us into the vampire in the first place. So we're going to create that. And then we're going to create a little story about how they turned us into a vampire. That'll be our final memory. And we're going to create a mark. A mark is something that we carry with us, like glowing eyes or bat wings or something that marks us out. So who is going to be the immortal who turned us into a vampire?
Anne Widdecombe.
Anne Widdecombe.
Anne Widdecombe. For our American listeners, you probably don't know who Anne Widdecombe is.
Definitely spelled her name wrong. Oh look, it actually is in the spell check. Who is Anne Widdecombe?
What do you want me? What in real life or?
No, I know.
Oh, in this. So what? So she can be anything, or she can be like
she's some kind of supernatural creature that has turned us into a creature of the night.
Okay, she is a leathery.
Avoiding libel.
Yeah. A leathery, tall.
A leathery, tall, right? A
lanky or however skinny. Just say skinny.
Leathery, skinny.
What would you call her? Someone that half woman,
half demon,
half woman.
Oh, half woman. Yeah.
Yeah, half woman.
Yeah.
And half fawn.
Whoa. So I don't know how it. Right. So let's tall, leathery, skinny, half woman, and half fawn. Okay. So this is our fifth and final memory.
Or is this how it gets turned into a...
Yeah. So now we want to know how did we get turned? How did Anne Widdecombe turn us into a vampire? Presumably she didn't bite us because she's a fawn, not a vampire.
Well, she's fawn on the bottom half of her body.
Oh, so she's a vampire on the top half.
Yeah. Well, like she's a woman. Yeah, woman vampire on the top half, and a fawn on the bottom half. She, whilst we went out to collect mud for our home, and we saw in the distance a beautiful woman. We approached this woman, but little did we know that this woman was a vampire, and she bit him when Manson tried to stroke. This is a little insight into what most of my games are like on Mondays.
This is
Duncan.
great.
So-
This is just making you GM for us live on air. Okay, that's in mud. So, what is our mark? What's the distinguishing thing? She.
Go on, you do this one.
Okay. She turned my head around backwards, and now so our head faces the wrong way. So we have a backwards head, well, like back to front from the Raggy Dolls. Is that too weird?
No. So we've got a back to head.
Okay, yeah.
Back to front head. Back to front head.
Okay, so that's our memory, and our so our marks are back to front head.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like so this is our first this is our vampire. Our vampire is now ready to go.
Excellent.
Right. Do you have dice to hand?
Yes, I
They're
do.
easily accessible. Grab us a D10 and a D6 because we're going to be needing those in a minute because we're going to be rolling those. So now that we're ready to go,
Got my Fulton dice, so that's going to be good.
so as we go through, we're going to be able to use skills to solve problems. It might ask us to use skills, and we have to explain how we use that skill. The trick is once you've used a skill, you can't use it again. So gradually we may run out of skills that we can use. So we're not only going to be able to solve problems with horse seduction once. Here are our tips for answering problems. Answer prompts in a way that feels natural. Don't try and force things. If prompts combine together to tell stories, then follow that narrative thread. You might find you better link some of these stories in our memories and create a little mini story.
Nice.
Feel free to just follow the narrative. Don't feel like we have to force conclusions. I've got the Fulton dice as well. Don't overthink. Be uncomfortable. Oh, don't worry. We're going to be very uncomfortable. We're going to make you uncomfortable. Right. In terms of the passage of time, that is up to us. We can basically decide as time goes by. But what might happen is that we have to keep an eye on our mortals, because after we've gone forward a bit in time, the mortal might just die. And if that happens, we just cross them off. So here we are. We start at prompt number 1. In your blood hunger, you destroy someone close to you. Kill a mortal character. Create a mortal if none are available. Take the skill Bloodthirsty. So we must create a memory, or create an experience rather. You can have, each memory has space for 3 experiences. After that, you have to start new ones. Experiences are these lines of text. So we've got. So we have to kill. So what has happened is, in a bloodlust, we've gained the skill bloodlust. We've killed somebody close to us. So who do you think we killed? Okay, bloodlust.
I mean, I think it's probably. Surely it's going to be Stu Jackson, right?
I think it's Stu Jackson, isn't it? I was thinking the same.
I mean,
he's so near us, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I mean, he's one day. One day we just got the taste for some blood after he was wafting us. I'm afraid Stu Jackson bit the bullet.
Stu Jackson the wafter has died in the very first the very first paragraph. So this will go into memory 4, I think.
Yeah.
Tells me of. So as he is wafting me,
Don't worry, Candice. Your time will come as well. So don't worry about that.
oh yeah, we're gonna get you all.
One day, as he wafts, I leap upon him. Sorry, I'm just writing my diary.
What weapon do we? How do we kill Stu Jackson?
We can use one of our resources.
We don't need to use a resource. We can just. It can be anything. So just let's. We're
Rusty
writing
spoon.
out of our story.
Rusty spoon from the pit. The leftover rusty spoons.
Oh, oh my goodness!
Gouges his eyeball out. Yeah, Stu Jackson's a red shirt.
Stu Jackson. Sorry, Stu. So as Sir Manson von Crisps is lying around being wafted by Stu Jackson, he spun around one day and spooned his eyes out with a rusty spoon. Stu Jackson has been killed. The sharpened horseshoe. I'm going to do that.
Yeah, do that.
Right. Okay. Now. Gross. Okay, scoops his eyes out with the horseshoe.
Nice.
Chris, you monster. It's the one who created the shade siphon, by the way, so that's what we're dealing with here. Right, now we're going to find out how far along we go. So, I need you, Ross, to roll a d10.
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 5.
5. Now I want you to roll d6 and subtract that from the number. That's how we get our page.
-1.
Minus
6. Or is that 0?
Okay. That means we go backwards. Hang on. You could. You could do.
Yeah, because I rolled a 5
0
on the D10 and then
0.
I just ends with 0.
So this keeps on the same prompt. It keeps on prompt number 1, but each prompt has multiple things. So here's the next one.
Cool.
You are overcome by panic and maul somebody close to you, accidentally turning them into a monster like yourself. Convert a beloved mortal character into an enemy immortal. Take the skill Ashamed.
Oh.
Okay, so we are now ashamed as well as bloodthirsty.
I think.
So who's going to get turned? So Stu Jackson's dead.
Yeah, I think
it's gotta
surely it's probably going to be Chris Marsh, as he's taught us the ways of vegetables.
So he's like our mentor.
Yeah,
and he's now an enemy.
Yeah, Chris Marsh suffers a horrible death.
No, he doesn't die. He becomes an immortal.
No, he becomes an immortal. Chris is
what kind of monster does he rise again?
What kind of monster, Dangerlings, does Chris Marsh turn into? That is the question that I'm posing to you, and I'm going very slowly in my explanation, so hopefully I will get something any minute. I maul Chris Marsh while I'm really hungover one day. He rises again as a
something, and
yeah. So what is it? What is it the Dangerlings think that Chris Marsh should be turned into?
Someone will tell us.
Yeah.
So this is getting exciting. So
Candice said succubus.
Oh, Chris, you are a succubus. There you go.
Succubus.
This might get sexy. Okay. So one day, while really hungover, Sir Manson von Chris mauled Chris Marsh in the turnip patch. but Chris has risen again as a succubus and sworn eternal vengeance
I
upon
like the
us.
way you say succubus. Succubus.
Succubus. Succubus.
You say succubus, I say succubus. Let's call the whole thing off.
All right, we've dealt with that situation. Go ahead and subtract a d6 from d6 from a d10.
I did a Candice and I threw it on the floor for flipping it. Hold on. Bear with me. Oh, it's right at the back. Right. That's 6, and that's a 5, so that's 1.
1. So that means an odd number. So we move backwards. So we go to the final prompt of passage number 1.
Ooh.
You are captured and enslaved by a wicked and powerful supernatural entity. Create an immortal character. How do you eventually escape their servitude? Check a skill and take the skill Humans Are Cattle. Strike out all mortal characters as 100 years have passed.
Oh, shit.
Take a resource you have used for evil while in service of your former master.
So Candice dies off screen. She dies off screen.
100 years passes. Candice dies. Chris Marsh makes it out as a succubus.
Yeah.
Isn't this game?
So we need to create.
Line her, kill her. So we now need to create. This is another immortal. I feel like the immortal characters need to be like. It needs to be in like red ink or something.
Yeah. The immortal Chris Marsh. That's going to be on a t-shirt. That's some merch that you can sell.
There we go. The immortal Chris Marsh, the immortal Anne Widdecombe. Who is our next immortal? Who is the immortal who enslaved us? Sorry, Candice.
Who is? Should we pick Dangerling?
It's a mummy, right? Anthony's jumped in. It's a
Anthony
mummy.
Blythe, the mummy.
Anthony the mummy.
Anthony the mummy. There you go. So we've been enslaved by a mummy. They enslaved us for 100 years.
So
Candice, you threw your dice on the floor on Monday. You probably may not remember it, but it was you said you.
Okay.
Spent about 5 minutes talking about it, but yeah, that's why I said I did a Candice.
So we have to check a skill to show how we escaped after 100 years. What did we escape from?
What did we escape from, Dangerlings?
Which of our skills did we use to escape?
Obviously, horse seduction. Actually,
Humans Are Cattle.
Hold on, let's see, because it could be throwing crisps. Because they could have given us, depending on where we are. Where do you think we should be, Dangerlings, or shall I just answer?
Let's give us an idea. So we've been, and we also need a resource that we gained through an evil resource that we gained while in servitude of Anthony the Mummy for 100 years.
Bandages.
But they'd have to be evil bandages.
Yeah, of course. Okay, let's say that we were trapped in a marsh.
We were trapped in a marsh.
In a marsh.
How ironic, given our past cruel treatment of Chris Marsh.
Yeah. We were trapped in a marsh.
This is going to have to be a new memory. Now, this doesn't link to any of our previous memories.
Okay.
So this means that so this means we have to forget something. We have to lose one of our memories, because we've only got space in our mind for 5 memories. So we have to decide which one we're going to lose: the life before, our memories of Chris Marsh, That could be dangerous because we don't forget Chris Mask. He used to want eternal vengeance.
Yeah. I think we
Um,
should forget
Old
about the life
Stinky and
before.
Candice. Yeah,
Because
so
he's
we've
not a knight
forgotten who
anymore,
we
he's a
got.
vampire.
All right.
Maybe he just wants to forget that he was ever a knight of Mar.
Okay, we've forgotten. We have forgotten the Knights of Mar. It has been 100 years, and in that time, we've completely forgotten our previous life. Um, Instead,
I think everything else is pretty memorable, like
yeah,
meeting Candice and even though she's dead.
the mummy challenged us to a game of spot the vegetable. Excellent.
Oh my god, the worst. The worst.
Where's his pyramid? Oh, his tomb.
Where is his tomb?
Yeah. Where did mummy have a tomb, Ross?
It would have it in a pub toilet.
In his toilet tomb.
Yeah, in a cubicle. He's made the toilet, one of the
Okay.
cubicles, into his tomb.
Excellent.
Never took it out. And forever smelling the smell of stale pee and poop.
Dangerlings, we're creating art here.
You're gonna remember this is actually one of the adventures that we're actually gonna go on after
this is just called. This is the next Lockdown Legends. This is like number 3. This game could go on for. I can see how you can play this game for weeks.
Yeah.
If you ever basically, if the way you do is you just keep playing it until you sort of find a conclusion, or if you run out of skills and resources, then you die and you narrate your death. But we can play it for a little bit until we've got some good story, at least until I want to find out what happens to Chris Master stuff.
Yeah.
The sucker.
Anthony the Mummy imprisoned me for 100 years in a toilet cubicle. I escaped by challenging him to a vegetable recognizing competition and stole his bandages. I also learned that humans are trash.
So we've learned to hate humans in that time. Well, that's
Cool.
a lot of things. And that means we've got to check our telling the difference between parsnips and turnips. So we have used that skill. So we cross that off.
Cool.
So we've used a skill. All right. That was quite eventful. Sorry, Candice.
Yeah.
I quite like that we still remember Candice.
Yeah.
Candice died, but we've forgotten our own name, but we remember the fun times drinking wine with Candice.
And nerds. Don't forget the nerds.
Actually, we remember her wine. We don't remember her, to say.
Yeah.
Right, go ahead. D10, D6, or D10 minus the D6.
2, 4, -4, so 0 again.
-4. So we're going on to. We've not had a positive number yet, so we're going to be crawling through. We're going to. We're going over to prompt number 2. Horrified at your new nature, you withdraw from society. Where will you hide? How do you feel? Create a stationary resource that shelters you. So,
we've already got one, really.
Yeah, we've got a mud hut.
Yeah.
I think we get another one. We get
another mud hut.
A second mud hut.
Adjoining to the other hut. We make a little corridor. So now we've got 2 mud huts.
Until we've been playing survival games, can't you?
Yeah.
There we go. We got a second mud hut, and we must. I feel this is part of the imprisoned storyline.
Yeah.
You know, I feel this is where we went afterwards.
Yeah.
It's a nice quick one.
In order to hide from Anthony, I built myself a new mud hut, adjoining to the other original mud hut, but it was lovely. Some people would say that hiding in the same mud hut that you were in originally is silly, but don't shut up.
This is a terrible plan.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, what's coming up next?
All right. 3 minus 5.
-5. All right. You reinvent your existence around the seclusion of your hiding place. You begin to work in an artful way, changing your living environment. How do you come to appreciate the beauty or the craft in a new way? Create a skill based on a memory. So we've gained a new skill based on our time while we've been hidden away in our mud hut connected to our second mud hut connected to the first mud hut.
Well, I know exactly what the skill's going to be.
What's the skill, Ross?
Construction of mud huts. The ability to construct multiple mud huts adjoining.
Amazing. Mud hut.
Both up and down.
Huh?
Both up and down and left and right.
Oh my God.
So he's got a very good understanding of construction work and load-bearing mud huts.
The final chapter of are kidnapped by Anthony the Mummy.
That's right, Chris.
So,
it's the last place they'd expect you to be. Anthony Blythe said that we should create a mud hut apartment complex. That's what I'm going for.
Nice.
He's just going to become a landlord. Start renting out his mud huts.
Can't spell concierge.
And a mud pool.
Nice. It actually turns out pretty good. So our imprisoned story arc is quite fun. We were in prison for 100 years, during which Candace died in a toilet. We then fled and got into mud huts and became obsessed with them. Let's roll on. They will never expect us to be here, Chris. That is exactly right.
10 minus
10.
6.
It's a 4.
So 4.
So we're going to move ahead 4 prompts. 1, 2, 3, 4. A mortal character begins serving you. Who are they? Why are they drawn to you? Create a new mortal character.
I think it's Mr. Matt Letty.
It's got to be Matt Letty. Wow.
He works at the Mud Tiki Bar in the apartment complex. That's what he's just put, Mud Tiki Bar.
This is our first non-immortal this is our first contact with a mortal in 100 years.
So Matt Letty just comes up, asks for if there's any jobs going. We give him a job at the Mud Tiki Bar, serving us drinks. Ridiculous.
Nice. So
just as a recap of the story, we were bitten. We were originally a knight of Mar. In 1292, named Manson von Crisps. We were bitten by Anne Widdecombe, who was a vampire. We turned into a vampire. We knew some people. We had a mud hut. And Candace is dead. That's
an important to remember. Never forget.
Yeah. Candace is
dead. There we go. We've hired Matt Letty to work in our bar. That was nice and simple. What's next, Ross?
Okay. 10. Again. 1. So 9.
9. So it's an odd number, so we go back 1. You murder someone you love or respect rather than let them expose you. Kill a character. Check a skill. If you have no living characters, kill no one and create a beloved mortal character who you have betrayed. So we've now killed Matt. So Matt Letty is dead. Has some time passed, do we think?
No time's passed. I think literally he worked there one night, and we didn't like him, so we killed him. There was an argument in the back mud room, in the mud office, and pushed him, and he fell over and hit his head on one of the mud rocks on the corner of the mud desk.
Okay, I feel that. Oh man!
And then we hide him in the pit. We hide him in the pit of the spoons.
Right, I feel this has actually become its own. I'm going to make this a new memory because I feel like this experience doesn't quite fit into the.
We have to forget another memory.
So we're going to forget a memory in a minute.
Okay, I think we should probably just forget Candace. She's dead,
Okay, so tell me again how.
So I hire McLeod to work the bar, but after realizing that he can't serve anyone and he's really rude, I bring him into the mud office and say that I'm gonna have to let him go. There was a confrontation. I pushed Matt Letty. He fell and hit his head on the corner of the mud table, and then blood started pouring out, and he died.
Oh my god!
And then we hid his body in the rusty spoon pit. So you can cross that off as a resource as well, because we used that. So there you go. Yeah, he got a customer. So Anthony Blythe said, customer complained that he was putting mud in the drinks. That's good.
Yes.
So they had to let him go. We don't have to, but we can use that, can't we?
We can, but I think we don't have to cross it off, though. We just have to remember that Matt Letty's body is in the pit of spoons.
Okay. What do you mean rude, Candace? That's not rude.
Well, I mean, that's not rude, but what we're about to do, I think, is rude.
No, I think she was referring, because I think they're behind. So I think she was referring to, we should just forget about... Yeah, we just forget the memory of the old Stinky.
We've forgotten. So we still have the old Stinky, although he's 100 years old, and we don't know who, and we've forgotten who he is. So it's now just a skeleton of a horse. This is great. Let's move on.
All right, here we go.
I may lose track of time on this because this is really fun.
Okay, 8 minus 2, 6.
8 minus 2, 6. That is an even number, so we're going to move on 6 paragraphs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. On to 12. New laws and social mores make it harder for you to hide among the populace. How are you nearly caught and destroyed? Check a skill, create a skill, and create a mortal criminal who will assist you.
Okay, so obviously it's going to be the apartment housing society, maybe.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Or people looking for the body of Matt Letty.
Yeah, let's put it on the Matt Letty one. Then keep it in the same memory. Don't forget anything. Okay, so who comes looking for his body?
So
the housing association or the.
I think his. It would be too dark. I don't know. You pick.
Okay, the mud. The
Mud Association, the Mud Housing Association.
Yes.
Yeah, and found the body of Matt Letty in the pit of spoons. And then we got to create a mortal.
This is jumping all over the place.
Yeah.
Okay. So we need to lose a skill. We need to explain how we've learned a skill, and a criminal needs to help us.
Do we have
which
to
skill
explain
we
how we lose the skill, or does it just...
Well, no, we check the skills. We need to use either horse seduction, throwing crisp, bloodthirsty, ashamed, humans are cattle, or mud hut architecture. Get out of this.
I think probably mud hut architecture, right?
I think there's a good chance, yes.
We explained to him that he knows nothing about mud hut architecture, that they are within the legal rights and the boundaries of the council to create whichever areas he wants to in this mud apartment complex.
Amazing. They found a dead body.
And he explains that is just a art piece. Really
He's an
is.
art thief.
No, an art piece. It's like
An
an
art
art. It's like
piece.
like they're like, oh, that looks. Is that a body? And you're like, no, that's an art piece.
Excellent. Okay. So I think we've gained. Have we gained a skill that's like art or?
I think the gift of the gab.
Nice. Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, let's have that.
How long have we got? We're on an hour and 1 minute.
Are we already? Oh God. Okay, we might. Let's play a bit longer. But I think this might be a fun thing we can come back to next week, maybe.
That'd be fun.
Because this
We can have James in it.
Get James in, get everyone involved. Gift of the gab. Right. If this becomes more popular in the podcast, it won't be.
Yes, Matt Letty said it's part of the Section 106 agreement to install public art.
Lovely. Yes. Matt is actually an architect. I forgot about this.
He said, as an architect, I approve of this. Well, we know our danger.
That's amazing.
Okay, so I've got to roll dice again.
And who's the criminal? Hang on, we need a criminal.
Okay.
So we've got a mortal back.
I don't know this one. A rival apartment owner.
Oh, it could be maybe it's someone in the art world. Maybe we sell him to a crooked art dealer.
All right.
So who's going to be our? Who have we got left on street? Who have we got? Who we haven't mentioned on the? John Abnett.
Yeah. Abnett's art. Okay.
So we then. So let's see.
Do.
I should say it is now. It is now sort of the mid. I guess it's the mid to late the mid 1300s.
Yeah.
Oh no, late 1300s because it was. We started in 1292, and then we were imprisoned for 100 years. So it's now sort of. It's the early 1400s, and we've just sold. We convinced someone that Matt Letty's body is a piece of art, and then sold it to John. Excellent. Right, let's keep this rolling.
Cool. So that's 4.
4. We're going to head 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. Some mortals have banded together to hunt you, well armed and wise to your tricks. How do you defeat and evade them? Create a mortal hunter related to one of your checked skills, and then check another skill. All right.
Okay.
So first thing, we need to look at our checked skills. Our checked skills are telling the difference between parsnips and turnips at 200 meters, or mud hut architecture. So we need a vampire hunter who has some kind of who is somehow related to those two things.
Mud hut architecture, I guess.
No, I tell you what. What if it's because the telling difference between parsnips and turnips, that was a trait of Chris Marsh, the succubus, who has sworn eternal vengeance against us.
Oh yeah,
Maybe-
so I could lead it around to the.
Yeah, maybe it's somebody trained by him.
Yeah, let's do
Sent an
that.
assassin. He sent a vegetable assassin to try and kill us. And we only evade them by using one of our other skills. So
Throwing crisps.
throwing crisps, very nice. Haha, not today, Chris Marsh. So who is our
Crisp Marsh.
So we need a mortal vampire hunter, who is also a greengrocer. Have we got anyone left who we haven't named yet? It's quite a quiet stream today.
I don't think so.
Let's go for somebody else then. Who's our? Let's pick a name for our vampire hunter.
John Cena.
John Cena.
John Cena, the wrestler from WWE. If you didn't know who that is. I mean, if you still don't know who it is, it doesn't matter. If only Scott wasn't here, he could come up with all the puns.
Oh, he loves a pun, doesn't he? Need to get Scott on a stream. Scott on the stream.
Yeah.
Right, let's go up to. I love that we still remember being wafted by Stu Jackson and the fact that we killed him. Right. This is the last thing we can remember about Chris Marsh. That means if we end up having to forget this and the vampire hunter comes back, we will have no idea who they are.
Yeah. Chris
we can
said
put things in a diary.
Yeah. Chris said John Cena makes the perfect assassin because you can't see him. If you don't know who John Cena is, he does a taunt called he says you can't see him like this. That's good. Just annoyed him into just leaving by throwing crisps at him.
Right. Okay. I'm really worried we're going to have to forget this at some point because this is our through line. This is our blood feud.
Yeah.
Right. Let's have another one.
Okay. 6. Minus 3. 3.
3. So we're going to go backwards 3 places. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. Generations of the same family serve you. This line starts from any living mortal character or from the descendants of a dead mortal character. What bizarre rituals do they do in their servitude? Lose a resource, create a servitors of the lineage resource. So,
Wow. Stu Jackson served us for a long time.
Stu Jackson has served. Oh my God! So do we think we killed Stu Jackson, but his descendants have served us throughout the century? I feel like some time has passed here.
Yeah.
So
we've forgotten our past, so we wouldn't remember.
Yeah, but we remember Stu, and we remember his loyalty, and that we killed him. So. So Stu Jackson's family come back to serve us with bizarre rituals. However, we lose a resource. So how do we? What resource do we get rid of? We've got the remains of a horse named Old Stinky, the rusty spoons, house made of mud, bandages that strangle people when you get close, or a second house of mud.
What does it mean? We have to get rid of it.
So it means we lose it. As part of this story, The descendants of Stu Jackson have come to serve us with a dark ritual, and formed a cult, basically. But we've lost a resource in the.
I think the horse, surely, because he's already dead anyway.
Yeah, I think that's. So the cult of Stu Jackson, they use
wafting. They're wafting bloodline,
the wafting bloodline of Stu Jackson. So is this? I think. Well, this probably goes with Stu, doesn't it? Where are we? Stu Jackson.
I waft. I waft in your general direction.
What do they do? How do they get rid of the horse?
They take the bones and they burn them in a cauldron. But they boil them and drink the essence of old Stinky.
What? It's pretty dark there. So we have a cult made of the descendants of Stu Jackson, and that is our third memory on that one. So we could forget Stu at any point. Should we say we're going to do? Oh, I could play this forever. Should we say we're going to do 2 more? We'll do 2 more, and then we'll call it a day. And I'll save this file, and we will come back and play this game again another day.
Yeah,
this is tremendous fun.
4 minus 6, so 0 again.
0. All right then. Your servants are numerous, enthusiastic, and sometimes useless. Create a new skill based on a memory. This is the skill that you use to control them. Oh, that's a nice simple one. So
Hypnosis.
Hypnosis. So that's why this. So that's why they. So we did. They didn't come. They didn't come. We killed Stu. Then we tracked down his descendants and hypnotized them into helping us.
Yeah. Because we don't want any. The only person that's eluded us is Chris Marsh.
Ah, nice.
We don't want any people, out for vengeance.
This is good. Okay, so Stu Jackson's former cult. So it's that suddenly becomes so much darker that they randomly decided to come and help us. Is that we tracked down the descendants of the guy we killed and made them form a cult, and now they're drinking the bones of a dead horse. Oh, Stu. This game is mad. All right, let's have another one.
Alrighty. 8 minus 4. 4.
4. We're going forwards 4 places. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're on 17. Oh dear. You commit a despicable murder, but not for the sake of feeding. Why? Check a skill and remove a mortal character, if you like. I think
Hugh Jackson's family.
Do that. We're always going to do that. So the mortal characters we have left.
We haven't got any, have we?
We've got John Abnett and John Cena.
Well, we want to kill John Cena because he's a vampire hunter, surely.
Yep. Okay, so we're going to kill John Cena.
So he
buried John Cena.
Yeah.
And which skill did we use to kill? So getting down to just the ones we've been given. Horse seduction, bloodthirsty, ashamed, humans are cattle, hypnosis, and
bloodthirsty.
Bloodthirsty. Oh, nice. I think that sounds right, doesn't it?
So he sends Chris Marsh sent a killer after us.
Yeah.
And we managed to kill him.
Unfortunately, there are no spaces left in the memory that we have of Chris Marsh.
Oh,
So we must now forget that. So we have no memory of Chris Marsh or John Cena. We don't know why they've been sent. However, I love the Ballad of Matt Letty is my favorite. So pointless.
Nice. The confusing death of John Cena. Typical Saturday night in the Jacksons household. Ye old Stinky Stew Jackson cult special. Chris said that's going to make the inevitable showdown amazing.
Yeah, right. We had no idea.
Chris coming like, you killed me or you hurt me, and he's like, who are you again? Who are you?
Right. So John Cena comes to the mud apartment. I don't remember who he is, but I kill him anyway. Yeah, I'm back for life. Let's do one more. This stuff. I love this.
9 minus 6.
Okay. So 3. So we're going backwards 3.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3. An enemy character uses a lost resource to turn a few friends against you. Check 3 skills to regain the resource, or check 1 skill to barely survive. Which former friend did you kill? Where do you flee?
Oh shit!
So we have to kill a mortal. So so I think this is probably Chris Marsh. This follows up. Chris Marsh is making his move on us. He sent John Cena, and now he's coming. And now he's sending.
And he's coming after us himself.
He's coming after us. Well, he's turned some of our friends against us. The only friend we have left is John Abnett, the crooked art dealer. So he's turned John Abnett against us. Now we can either lose 3 skills in order to get back the only resource we've lost so far, which is Old Stinky.
I think we should barely survive.
I think we should barely survive. So check 1 skill to barely survive. Which skill is it going to be? Which skill do we need to get out of this?
We push him in the massive pit filled with rusty spoons, or we can.
It has to be a skill.
So the skills. Gift of the gab, maybe.
I always want to use shame.
Shame.
We get out by how shameful we are. Okay, so we're going to talk our way out of it and then kill him.
Does he actually die?
No mortals left now. Yeah. So we lose a mortal. We don't lose Chris Marsh, but we lose a. Well, assuming.
Well, we lose John Abner, don't we?
Yeah. It doesn't have to be a mortal.
No, John Abner.
It doesn't have to be mortal. It could be Anne Widdecombe or Anthony the Mummy, assuming we reconciled. Although Anthony enslaved us for 100 years, so I don't know if we're tight.
I think we should go for John Abner because he's crooked, isn't he? So he's never gonna. He's not gonna.
We killed all of the Dangerlings who have tuned into the stream on this story. So John Abnett, Chris Marsh. I can't believe you did that, Chris Marsh.
Yeah.
There's another.
So you're only allowed to add 3 lines to a memory.
Yeah, and once you've filled it up, you have to forget it and move on and create another one. You can put them in a diary. and then what happens is your diary becomes a resource. Like, this is where it gets more complicated. I didn't want to overcomplicate it, but you can move sections and whole sections into your diaries and basically store them all there. But then the diary goes in your resources and becomes a physical resource. Like collection of pots with pictograms on. And if they ever get lost, you just lose all of the diary.
Jeez.
But I love the idea that you could do like the long form, because we're just doing a quick version. I like that with like one line, but I like that you write whole chapters of a book based on the stories of this vampire. So he's an art dealer. How does he betray us?
Chris Marsh gave him a much better art piece.
So Chris Marsh convinces John Abnett to betray me by giving him better art.
A stacked up vegetable.
It's back to the vegetables, eh?
No, beets. Sorry, a beetroot art piece. Chris Marsh said that is merely step one in my multi-step plan.
Oh my God!
Vengeance.
Yeah, I feel like we've got. Chris hooked at least. He's invested.
Yeah.
This is more his story than ours. Chris Marsh convinces John Abnett to betray me by giving him a stacked up beetroot sculpture. How does John try to kill us?
With his with the corner with a paintbrush. With a paintbrush, maybe. A vegetable hat.
A vegetable hat. Oh, good.
Anthony Blythe said a vegetable hat. Not to the same thing, but he uses a vegetable hat to bludgeon.
Okay, good. That's the joy of the delay on the stream. So he attacks us with a vegetable hat. But we get away. Which skill did we use? We used Gift of the Gab.
Gift of the Gab. We tell him that we can like give him better art, and that we're good for it. And then we managed to hit him over the head and run away. Crazy. See, now this is. By the way, this is the second podcast, everyone. So.
This is the second podcast. This is the main podcast, man. This is the. So Chris Marsh convinces John Abnett to betray us by giving him a stacked up beetroot sculpture. John attacks us with a vegetable hat, but we tell him we can give him better art. And as he thinks about it, we hit him in the head, and into the pit of spoons he goes.
Yeah. And we run away. Do we reconvene somewhere else? We have to leave this place.
It feels like it. It feels like we have to. It feels like we had to run. It feels like where did we flee to?
Denmark.
Amazing. We flee to Denmark.
And then that's the next chapter of our story.
That will be the next chapter of our story. So the story of some Manson von Crisps. He was a knight of Mar in the year 1292. He remembered for a long time. He remembered his love. He gained a love of veg from Chris Marsh. They beat beets together in a field, learning the difference between parsnips and turnips. However, he mauled Chris Marsh while really hungover one day, Chris rose as a succubus and swore eternal vengeance. Chris later sent John Cena to kill us, but we threw Chris out until he left. We forgot all of that. Yep. We used to hang out with old Stinky, drinking Candace's wine, but we forgot that.
Yeah.
We still remember, we still have a faint memory in our back of our minds of Stu Jackson gently wafting us as we practiced throwing crisps. He served our family for years, and we don't remember those years. And he's told us of all the nights he's wafted before. One day, as he wasped, we leapt on him with a sharpened horseshoe and scooped out his arm. Over a century later, we went and hypnotized his descendants and made them form a cult dedicated to wafting us for eternity. They burned and ate the horse's remains. Anne Widdecombe's still out there. We remember her. Remember her turning our head back. Oh yeah, this whole time we have a backwards head.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
and imprisoned Anthony the Mummy in prisoners for 100 years in a toilet cubicle. We escaped by challenging him to a vegetable recognizing competition and stole his bandages. Also, we learned to hate humans, or learned they were trash. In order to hide from Anthony, we built a new mud hut connected to the first one, and it was lovely. We then became obsessed with mud huts and built an entire apartment complex with a mud gym and a mud pool. The Ballad of Matt Letty. We hired Matt Letty to work in the tiki bar after he put mud in the drinks. I brought him into the mud office. There was a confrontation and I pushed him down the stairs and hid his mud body in the pit of spoons. The Mud Housing Association came to inspect the apartments and found the body of Matt. I used my knowledge of mud huts to convince them that Matt was a piece of art. I sold Matt to John in order to get rid of the evidence. Next one, the confusing death of John Cena. John Cena came to the mud apartment. I don't remember who he is, but I kill him anyway. Chris Marsh convinces John Abner to betray me by giving him stacked up beetroot sculpture. John attacks us with vegetables, but we tell him we can give him better art. And as he thinks about it, we hit him on the head. And into the pit of spoons he goes. We flee to Denmark. We still have horse seduction, ashamed, humans are cattle, hypnosis. We still have a massive pit filled with rusty spoons, and a house made of mud. Presumably another one we've made a new one in Denmark. Some evil bandages, a second house made of mud, and the cult of Stu Jackson who have fled to Denmark with us. We are being pursued still by the immortal Chris Marsh, the succubus beetroot seller who fears cabbage. And
you can find this game in Free RPG Day, so they'll be available in all stores.
It's so good. And Anthony the Mummy is still out there somewhere, presumably for us. And yeah, we have a back to front head. That's so good.
Tune in next week to find out what happens.
Yeah, so that is. Oh my goodness. So that is where are we? Who's it by? Tim Hutchings, I think. But I think made 1000-Year-Old Vampire. Yeah, Tim Hutchings made 1000-Year-Old Vampire. www.1000yearoldvampire.com is where you can find this game. You can find it on. If you search 1000-Year-Old Vampire RPG, you'll find it. It costs nothing for something that is this fun. Go and grab it because it is a right laugh. And Ross, if you are available, if you're around next week, hopefully we get James as well. Do you want to play some more 1000-Year-Old Vampire?
Of course.
Oh, yes. I think we may have a new little Wednesday stream. So thank you, everyone, for joining us for this very silly time. Come back and join us next week when we will play some more 1000-Year-Old Vampire and continue the service of the story of Manson von Crisp and his lifelong vendetta against a succubus beetroot seller. We will catch you next time. Thank you, everyone. Take care.
Bye.
Be safe till then.